should do it. And yeah, I think we're good to go. We're live as well. So yeah, thank you for being here. And I did one live yesterday, and I promised that I would try and make it at the same time to do this live as well, because if I get home a bit later from work, then I don't have time to make a video. So I made it. I was lucky with the traffic and everything, and I made it on time, or a bit earlier than I usually get home, and so hence I have the time for this video and for this live. I was planning, or I planned to just talk about something that we were talking about yesterday, and just expand on that topic a little bit, and then we'll see where it goes, depending on if anybody joins in on the conversation, has any kind of topics that they would like us to go and discuss, or any questions, or and other things like that. So yeah, we'll see where the conversation goes. Nothing's set in stone, but the aim is, at least for now, to talk about that one topic, which was fitness in general. Now, that general term is something that I usually have trouble with, because that is very difficult to get. That is, when we talk in general terms about anything, in this case it's fitness, but it can be anything else, it depends on a lot of things. So there's no catch-all kind of strategy, because it all depends on our age, on our goals, what we want to achieve, and on gender, on our activities, life, and so on. Like, for example, someone who's, let's say, in their 20s is going to have different goals than someone who's in their 60s, for example. Tiffany says hello back. Thank you for joining us, Tiffany, and my apologies for the loud noise. Sharbeen says hi, hello back. Thank you for being part of the chat. If you folks have any topics or questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. I was just planning to continue the conversation from yesterday. We talked about fitness and general fitness and exercise goals and things like that. But we can, of course, expand it to something else. Sharveen says only 2 views. Yeah, now it's 13, but we'll see where it goes. Sometimes people come and stay, sometimes go. It depends. Of course, we can't have a chat for everybody. Sometimes people like what they hear, sometimes they don't. So we'll see. You folks, yeah, feel free to leave your comments or questions, and we'll see where that goes. And until then, I can continue the topic from yesterday. I wish you get 1,000K, 100K, sorry. Thank you very much. That would be amazing. And yeah, that would be really great. It would solve a lot of issues for me. And yeah, I could then, I guess, do this as a main job. So yeah, that would be cool. But one step at a time. I'm not sure that we're gonna hit that number anytime soon. But anyway, thank you for your wishes. Thank you for the likes. Hey, new here, Son says. So welcome, Son. Thank you for being here. Basically, this is a kind of chat that we can all be a part of. So if you folks have any questions, topics, anything you would like us to discuss, we can do that, of course. If not, I prepare topics that I can talk about for that live, for this live. So in this case, for example, yesterday I was talking about fitness, and people were asking about that. So I was planning on continuing to talk about that a little bit, but we can go any other direction depending on you folks. Just gave you a like and a sub. Thank you very much, Son. That is greatly appreciated. Thank you all for the likes and for your subscriptions. That means a lot and helps the channel grow, helps me, of course, and the more subs we get, hopefully, the better the videos I can make. And yeah, that's the goal. And yeah, my apologies. At the moment, I'm balancing obviously my life, my work, and all that with this, and I'm trying to be as as consistent as possible. But sometimes, other things get in the way. Let me support you. I subscribed to you as well, says Sharif. Thank you so much for your subscription. Greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. So yeah, if you folks, I'll continue the topic of fitness, but if you folks have other topics, just let me know and we'll go into that other direction. So in general terms, it's a bit difficult to talk about anything, especially fitness, since we all have different goals. We're at maybe different ages, different weights, and different lifestyles we lead, and all that. So it all depends. Someone who's, like I mentioned, 20, compared to someone who's like 60, will have obviously different goals and different abilities. Mike Clark says, hi, hello back. Thank you for joining the chat. And in fitness, in general, it's important to set the goals, to be, I guess, realistic as well, and to have that goal and a plan on how to achieve it, but without thinking, okay, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna achieve my goal, and then I'm gonna go back to my like a life without activity. That's not gonna work. We should, if we're gonna try and be active and healthy, that should be part of our daily routine. Some days you'll be more active, some days less, but it should be something that is incorporated into our life. Because if you exercise for a year and then you stop, you're gonna basically negate all that hard work. So it should be consistent. Consistency is key. And same goes for workouts and things like that. So consistency would be one, and finding something that we like to do. So some people find the gym boring, for example, so they don't go to the gym. Maybe they find something else that they enjoy doing. It can be a sport, it can be another type of activity, it can be inside, like indoors, or outdoors. It all depends on you as individuals. So the more fun you have, the more consistent you will be. Because sometimes there'll be days when you are not feeling it, you are maybe tired or have other things planned, and this and that comes in the way. And then you say, like, okay, maybe I'll take a break. Or you push through that and say, nah, even though I don't feel like it, I'll still go and do my training. So that's important as well. And then there's, of course, the diet, the rest part as well, maybe some supplementation if it's needed, usually not needed that much, and so on. But it all depends on our goals. Some people want to just gain muscle mass. Other people are focused solely on their looks, want to lose weight, some want to gain weight, and some people are in it mainly for longevity, so for health reasons. Those are all valid reasons, and you will get the health benefits if you are active. There's no two ways about it. But if you take, some supplements that are dangerous, then we go into another area and we want to avoid that. James Burnett, thank you very much for being part of the chat, says, just a random YouTube viewer going through active live channels and showing some love. I hope you have a great day. Thank you very much, James, for leaving your comment and for that lovely gesture. It's great to have you, and I hope you have a awesome day as well, and hope you day or evening, of course, it depends, and hope you enjoy the content. And if you like, you can of course subscribe and hit the like button as well. So thank you so much. So yeah, there's that aspect. Now, when it comes to being active, there's the activity of actual training, like doing exercises for your body, for your muscles, like muscle training, strength training, weight training, those types of exercises. And then there's other activities that we maybe don't consider such of an exercise, but they still benefit you, give you a lot of benefits in terms of your health, your stamina. For example, walking, running, cycling, swimming, all those exercises don't mainly focus on muscle growth, but are still very, very beneficial. And so that's something that we can do on daily basis, being active in some way, like walking. And we can set goals for ourselves. Some people like to walk long distances, so like 10,000 steps, 20,000 steps, like that, with, by using the step counter, for example. Others like shorter walks. And it's something also that we could do alone, by ourselves, or with someone. Either way is good, has its benefits. When you're with someone, of course, you're socializing. And when you don't have friends that are free at that time, you go on a walk by yourself. So there's, we should pick activities that we can do by ourselves and in the company of others if we have someone at that time that's free. So those are some things to consider. And yeah, being active every day in that term, so walking, running, is something that we should do. Plus having at least 2-3 days inside of the week where we do some muscle training, be it body weight, be it weight training in the gym, or anything else in between. It's all good and quite important. And that is regardless of our age and weight. However, for people that are quite overweight or quite heavy, for them it's more of doing first some cardio and dieting to help them lose weight, and then they will be able to do some exercises easier. Then they start with those exercises, they start building muscle, and it all falls into place over a period of time. And time is very important because we tend to want, to achieve something in a short term. Like we want results in a month, in 2 months, in 5 months. That shouldn't be our goal. So, because if you start exercising and there will be some results, but maybe there won't be the results that you wanted or were hoping in those 2 or 3 months, and then you feel like you're not doing something right and maybe you quit. But we don't want to quit. We want to, continue. So even if you're doing some exercises that are not optimal, it's still beneficial towards your health and your well-being. The goal is, of course, not to get injured, so we don't want to push ourselves too hard, but we also don't want it to be too easy so that we don't feel like we accomplished something. And that feeling of accomplishment is also great because it boosts our overall feeling of, feeling happy, feeling good about yourself. Ash says, sometimes I feel to give you, but I keep going because I know it's beneficial. Thank you. Thank you for leaving the comment, Ash. And yeah, it's beneficial to, leave a like and subscribe. That always helps. And yeah, thank you for leaving the comment as well, for being part of the chat. As always, yeah, thank you all for being here, and not just thank you for subscribers, but even those people that didn't subscribe. Thank you for being here and giving us your time. Bye, bro. Gotta go. I'll still support you, says Charvin. Thank you so much, and hope to see you soon. I usually do these like on weekends and during Weekdays, I do them when I can. So around this time on weekdays and a bit earlier on the weekends. So it just depends on when I'm free. The feeling is always amazing after, but the process is hard. I also try to walk. Do you think walking helps? Asks Ash. Excellent. So yeah, the feeling is very important because it improves your day, and the more you do it, the better you feel, and it's why we do it basically. If it felt bad, we wouldn't be doing it as much. So yeah, feeling great is a big plus for exercises of any kind. And yeah, walking definitely helps. It depends on whether you want to lose weight or if you want just to build stamina and improve your health. So, for example, I'm not trying to lose weight, but I still walk like maybe 10,000 steps every day, around that number, because I feel good. It boosts my everything, like my cardiovascular, so cardiovascular system, because it's a cardio exercise. It helps with my regulating and having a good heart rate, having good breathing, so helps with the lungs, helps with the well-being, like feeling good as well, and it just your muscles are working a little bit, and they warm up your body temperature. Gets ready for whatever it is that you're doing later. For example, if you're walking and then doing an exercise after that, that's great because that walk was a great warm up to your exercise. But yeah, walking every day is definitely great. One example that I could also give why walking is very important is, when you have surgery of some kind, the doctors right after the surgery will ask you to be active, to walk, even if it was a big surgery and you were under anesthesia and all that. When you wake up, they'll help you to walk, and they'll tell you, walk more and more, even though it's difficult, because it helps your entire body. It's also good for your GI, so gastrointestinal tract. It helps with all the things that I mentioned, and on top of it all, it's also good for boosting your hormone of happiness. Basically, dopamine gets activated more when you're walking or being active. So yeah, walking in general is great, and especially if you're walking in a nice place, you feel even nicer. So walking is always nice. So yeah, thank you for that comment, Ash. And like I mentioned, folks, if you have any questions that are related to this or any other topics, feel free. It's an open discussion in this chat. Can you tell us what is the best exercise that I can do while we work? I'm a model and don't have time for gym, and I don't want to bulk. Excellent question. So, one of the exercises, and this is depends, but for example, for people that work in the office, there's one exercise. There's a lot, but I'll mention just one that can be done that helps you with your overall well-being, metabolism, and cardio health and all that. It's a simple exercise. Basically, what you are doing while you're sitting, and it's nothing extraordinary, but you're just sitting down and lifting your heels off the ground. So your toes are still on the ground, and you're just lifting your heels up and down, up and down. It's a very easy exercise. And like, for example, now I'm on my toes because I'm up, and now I'm down, but only while sitting. That is an easy exercise that can be done for a long period of time. It works your calf muscles, but it also helps your whole body do a little bit of cardio as well. So that's one thing. Now, best exercise, that's while we're working. That's one thing. Other exercises that help with for you, but even though you don't want to bulk, so you can do some exercises with weights, and it's beneficial. The good thing also is the good and bad thing. People that want to achieve muscle, to get muscle mass, they have to train a lot, like hard, and a long time as well. So if I want to, for example, increase my muscle mass, I'll need to exercise for a long time, for months, to achieve it. I'll need to eat a lot and exercise a lot. So for you as a model, you can exercise and just look, you'll notice differences. But in order for that difference to happen, a lot of time will need to pass. So don't worry about, exercising a bit and working out a bit with light weights. You don't want too heavy weights if you don't want to bulk. So light weights with more repetition is basically what you want. So it can be with your body weight, like for example doing squats, and it can be with weights, but light weights. So for example, a kilo or two of a dumbbell is fine for just doing a long time repetitions. And then you go from 1 kilo to maybe 2, 3, like that. But that's, for example, for your arms, shoulders, and all that. And also, I guess while you work, so I mentioned that one exercise when sitting, right? You can also walk, yeah, that's a given, when you have time, and try and focus on your posture. That's important for modeling, but in general for everybody, for people, posture is important. So when we sit, we tend to go down like that, but we want to keep our spinal line straight. So we want to focus on having a good posture, and we then engage our muscles to do that. So try that. That is not an exercise that will help with muscles in particular, but it will activate your muscles and will work on improving your posture overall. The more you think about it, you then adjust yourself and focus on that. Then the more you do it, at one point your body will do it automatically, more or less. So there's that. And what other exercise could you do at work? Now it depends, I guess, on what you do, if you sit a lot or not. And while you're at work, you could do a little bit of stretching is always good, and a little bit of movement. If you can, just stand up a little bit and then work with your hips like that, going in one direction and then the next, just to warm up a little bit. But the main focus should be when you're not working, when you have free time, to be active like that. Be on your feet, do some body weight exercises as well, or like dancing helps. Depends on what you like to do. But yeah, dancing can help. Different types of sports are sports for people that are models are a bit tricky, because certain sports will make your body look a certain way. Like when you look at professional, for example, swimmers, they tend to have a V shape, so very like broad shoulders. When you look at football players, they are bulky all over. Soccer players have like big legs and so on. So sports are maybe not the best for models. For overall, like if you really enjoy a sport, you can play it, but just you won't, I guess, be a professional, so your body won't go that way all that much. But yeah, so some sports are fine. Swimming in general is great. And the diet, of course, is very important. So, like a lot of fiber and some protein and avoiding carbs and sugars is not all carbs, but mostly sugars. We don't need, our body doesn't need much sugar, very little, in fact. And carbs you can eat, but not, again, not a lot. So mainly like vegetables, some fruit, and lean meat like chicken, turkey, fish, things like that are good. I hope I answered your question there. But if you want me to go more in depth, if you have any other similar questions, of course, feel free to ask. Or any questions that are even not related to this are also welcome. But yeah, that's mainly it for people that don't want to bulk. Is doing more repetitions with lighter weight and with your body weight as well. Um, Ash says, "Thank you. You're most welcome. Happy to be of assistance, and yeah, happy to help." And it's also like any kind of job is difficult in its own way, and modeling is no different. Not that I ever was a model, but in general, like I understand the concept is not easy. It's not just showing up somewhere for like an hour and then going home. It's much, there's much more to it, and there's a lot of dedication that goes into it as well. So, good, of course, good luck. And I just wanted to mention, yeah, it's not as easy as people might think. And also, yeah, so diet, exercise, and I shouldn't forget hydration. So getting plenty of liquid is very, very important. And if possible, try to make that liquid water rather than juice, because juice will just give you lots of calories because of that sugar and everything else that's in it. And you basically don't need it. You know, when you eat, let's say, a cake, it has a lot of sugar, and I guess we shouldn't eat cake every day, but at least when you eat a cake, you feel like you did something and you feel fuller. But when you drink juice, you can drink a lot more of it and take a lot more calories in without even feeling it, or without feeling maybe even that satisfied. So yeah, juice is something to maybe, not use, at least not drink that much. Same with sodas and everything else. For people that do have an issue with that and are used to drinking a lot of sodas, maybe, just try at first taking the zero sugar sodas and then slowly getting rid of them as well, and then turning towards water, mineral water, is most beneficial. And yeah, we want to aim, again, depending on how big we are, but yeah, we want to aim between like 2.5 to 3 liters of water a day. That depends obviously on how much water you lose. If you're exercising, if it's hot outside, if you're sweating a lot, you obviously need more water. For people that don't sweat that much, they'll need a bit less. But it's in that range, and it's quite important for a lot of things, like for also keeping track of your electrolytes, for being hydrated. It's important for your organs as well. So yeah, water is definitely an important thing. That's obvious, I guess. And I mentioned the electrolytes there, and exercising. So some people might feel or have a headache after either being in the sun too long. That could be just because of the sun, but it also can be because of sweating a lot and losing some of those electrolytes. Same goes with people that are exercising a lot, runners, for example, or if you have, you're a sportsman, you're an athlete, and you had a game or a match. After that, you know, you need to replenish your everything that you lost, so fluids, but also the electrolytes. The way you do it can be with electrolyte supplements, but you should, you know, watch out and see if a lot of them have or tend to have unnecessary sugars and calories. So what you can do instead is sprinkle a little bit of salt. So just a little bit of salt in your water. You can even add a little bit of lemon, which will give you some vitamin C, and it will help you replenish some of the electrolytes lost, and you can get rid of that headache if you have it, or prevent it from happening after a workout. So yeah, that's just a small tip there. So yeah, that's mainly what I wanted to mention for today for exercises and fitness in general. We should set our goals, depends on what we want, and we should try and be realistic and not, you know, not put too much pressure on ourselves. If it's going well, great. If it's not, then just trying and pushing through it a bit in terms of consistency. So consistency is the key thing, and we shouldn't push ourselves too hard in every training. It's good to do that from time to time to test yourself, to see how much you can go, so how much weight you can lift or how far you can go and all that, pushing ourselves to failure. But that's just on rare occasions. Most days you don't want to go that far because you will just at one point collapse. It's not possible to do that every single day, and it increases the risk of injury. So we want to, you know, avoid that and go to some level of feeling tired and being like, okay, I did a good exercise now. I feel like I pushed myself enough to get the benefits. You know, if you get muscle soreness, that's one indicator that the exercise was good, but it doesn't have to be. Sometimes you don't get muscle soreness and the exercise was still effective. But yeah, consistency and quality. So we want to have a good quality session. We want to have good quality movement of an exercise. And then we want to, after we've mastered the movement of the exercise, then we want to move on to repetitions, to increasing the rep range. So if I'm doing any exercise, I can just demonstrate a barbell curl like this because it's easy to show. If I'm doing it right, then I can increase the weight, I can increase how many times I do it. But if I don't know how to do it, I should use a light weight and have a lot of repetitions. So like 15, 20 times and rest, then again 15, 20 times and so on until I get really like good at the movement. And our body is smart that way. You will get used to a movement like that quickly. So that's one thing, because there's a lot of people who want to lift a lot of weight and they want to increase their weight fast, and then they, for example, lift a lot on their bench press. It was a heavy load. They didn't do the performed really well. They didn't do the movement right, and then their shoulder might hurt, their elbow could hurt as well, and we're just inviting injury that way. So yeah, we want to avoid that. So yeah, that's all basically that I wanted to mention for today. Thank you all for being part of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful to you folks. Thank you all for leaving the comments and for liking and subscribing. I appreciate it very much. If anybody has any questions, anything more that they would like to ask, add, or just say, please do. I'll wait for a little bit. And if nobody has any questions or things that they would like to leave in the chat, we will we will end, but I'll wait for a little bit, so for about 20 more seconds, and we'll see if we should prolong the chat. Of course, any topic goes, anything at all that you would like, we can discuss. And obviously, it helps a lot if you like the video and subscribe. So thank you so much for your subs and for the likes. Okay, I think our 20 seconds are about up. So yeah, we'll end the video here, and I will see you folks hopefully tomorrow if I make it on time. If I don't make it on time, then definitely on Friday also maybe, but Saturday and Sunday I'll be doing a live. So yeah, looking forward to seeing you then and there. Thank you and take care.